10 Magic cards rated. Day number 50, everybody. Not only is it day number 50, huge milestone, it is also the day of mine birth. It just so happens to be. So hopefully we get some day 50 and also Magic birthday luck rubbing off and get some just incredible. All 10 cards are all like 8.5s or better. Let's see what happens. Happy Tuesday, everybody. First card of the day is Beast Within. Okay, good start. This is 3 mana. 2 and a green for an instant. Destroy target permanent. Its controller creates a 3/3 green bestow creature token. One of the best removal spells in green, man. Just about every green, especially mono green commander deck should have Beast Within. Really, I mean that. Like every red commander deck, especially mono red deck, should have Chaos Warp. All mono green players should have Beast Within. Again, next to like Song of the Dryads and Lignify, this is one of these sort of legendary, sort of top 5 green removal spells for Commander, like of all time. So, phenomenal card. They printed it literally 50,000 times at this point. So many printings, and it's still like $1.50 to buy this card at the absolute floor, right? So, even with all those proposed price controls, Beast Within is still a beast within. God, this card's good. Card's good. That's a great sign, guys. Especially first card of birthday and day 50 being Beast Within. That just feels like a good omen, right? We're about to unleash it. Card number 2. What did I give? What did I give Beast Within? I just forgot to rate that card, didn't I? 7, man. This is mostly for casual commander, right? So Beast Within gets a 7 like all day. Heartfire is one of my favorite cards from War of the Spark, actually. This is 2 mana, 1 and a red for an instant. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sack a creature or planeswalker. Heartfire deals 4 damage to any target. This, if you remember this far back, if you've been with the channel for this long, Heartfire was kind of a staple in all of my deck techs from that season, back when we did deck techs like every other day. We should get back to doing that. We really should do deck techs like every day. But I have been doing a lot of deck content lately, just in different forms, you know, top 3 decks of the week and all that. But still, man, Heartfire was a card that I put in like every deck playing Mountains. In War of the Spark, it feels like, because it's just 4 damage, dude. This feels like Shrapnel Blast, you know, like, except you have to sacrifice like an actual good permanent type. And you get like 20% less damage, but who's counting, right? It still feels like Shrap Blast to me, and it's just a great way to like get the sort of reach you need to finish a game off back then. So I love this card. I love this card so much, and I love that even if it's not the best card ever, it still feels like we're getting a sort of tour of the history of the channel here on the day of mine birthing. So I'll go ahead and give this like a 5.3 for old time's sake. I really think Heartfire is a good card. I really do. But moving on to Mountain, all basic lands go to 5. Art's fine. It's pretty good. All right. Moving on to Illtempered Loner. Man, this should have been a card. This really should have been. 4 mana, 2 and 2 red for a 3/3 human werewolf. Whenever it's dealt damage, it deals that much damage to any target. Also, you can pay 1 and a red and have it get +2/+0 until end of turn. You can also transform it into Howlpack Avenger. Whenever it's the day-night cycle thing that everyone hates, Howlpack Avenger is a 4/4 werewolf. Whenever a permanent you control is dealt damage, Avenger deals that much damage to any target, and it has the same activated ability, 2 mana for +2/+0. So it's cool that it's whenever a permanent you control is dealt damage, so like you send your team in, or you dare your opponent to come in, and then just block, and they probably die. So that's a pretty sweet ability. But there were like infinite combos with Illtempered Loner where you give it lifelink and indestructible. And I'm pretty sure there was one card that I feared, Angel Fire Ignition. I think it was Angel Fire Ignition that could give lifelink and indestructible on the same card. So you'd have to give Illtempered Loner lifelink and indestructible with Ignition, and then somehow deal damage to it, because that creates like a loop of some kind. I forget exactly how this trick works, but you're going to be dealing damage to Illtempered Loner, right? So it deals that much damage to any target. So you point the damage back at itself. Oh, look at that. It took damage. So it deals that much damage to itself again over and over and over, but it has lifelink and indestructible, meaning that you gain infinite life. There's got to be a way to break out of this, though. I'm pretty sure that that's a self-contained loop. Oh, you can just point the damage somewhere else. Okay, so it is that easy. All right. So we all thought, me and Saffron Olive and some other content creators were like, dude, that's actually a pretty sick little line that might do something. Never did anything. So, again, tour of the channel's history for for a special day today. But I got to give Illtempered Loner like a 5.1. It's It's actually not, you know, when you just consider it's a Boros Reckoner, it's not that bad. It's really not, man. But move on, like play a Blasphemous Act with that on the table. Let's go. You know, if anything that works well with Blasphemous Act deserves 5 point something, you know. But we'll move on to Grasping Thrall, only ever printed in Ravnica Allegiance. This is 5 mana, 3 a white and a black for a 3/3 flying Thrall. Always good to see a Thrall. Whenever Grasping Thrall enters the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to each opponent and you gain 2 life. So I guess there's probably some infinite blink combos that you can pull off with this. That's probably what you're looking to do, but still not good. still not good. And I'm saying that about an Orzhov flyer that drains. So it's got to be pretty bad because that's all my favorite things in one card. And it has very sick art, dude. Seb McKinnon. Seb McKinnon can draw a Magic card. That boy can draw. But anyway, it's got all the things I like, but it's still like a 3.9, you know. It's still just a 3.9. Cool card for cubes, but you got to be doing something better with Orzhov than that. You just have to. But we'll move on to Woodland Mystic here. 2 mana, 1 and a green for a 1/1 Elf Druid. Taps for a green. That's the card. It's the whole card. It's $2.16. How come? How come? Is it some sort of, like, buy a box promo? It wouldn't be, because it's common. Like, well, what's going on with the... It's only ever printed in one set, I guess. Although there is a list printing that doesn't have a price on it, which is weird. But there's got to be a story here, right? Otherwise, 2 mana for a 1/1 elf that taps for green would not be... It's just kind of one of the worst mana dorks of all time, actually. It's not good. Even with the creature type, it's got a relevant creature type, but it's just not good. Being a mana dork, I'm going to give it a 5. Because even like the worst mana dork is still a mana dork, and that's good. So somebody in the comment section, let me know what's going on. And don't Google it. Don't do it. Don't. I want to know from someone who knows. I want to know. I want to know. Let's move on to Purple Worm. Can we get one that doesn't look like it's from the Monster Manual? This is 7 mana, 5 and 2 green for an 8/7 worm. It costs 2 less to cast if a creature died this turn. So it costs 5 mana for an 8/7 with Ward 2. Draft special right there. It is purple. It's my favorite color. In case you wanted to know, ever. Purple is my favorite color, and then green. But I don't like them together because I'm not trying to look like the Joker or anything. That's silliness. This card's not good. Let's go with a 4. Sure. That's 4 is fine. It's an 8/7, man. Come on. Skulking Ghost from Mirage. I used to love this little stinker, man. This is 2 mana, 1 and a black for a 2/1 ghost with flying. A ghost. It's actually a spirit nowadays. But yeah, he's a 2 mana, 2/1 flyer, and if he becomes the target of a spell or effect, you bury him. Just sacrifice him. Get rid of him. This card actually used to be good back in the day in like mono black aggro decks and stuff, where all you really want is a 2-power flyer for a cheap cost, and this is a pretty cheap cost back then, especially for a 2-power flyer. So, you know, if they're gonna terror it, they're gonna terror it anyway. Like all the things they would target it with, kill it anyway. You know, well, you have Lightning Bolt. Terror actually doesn't work on it because it only can target non-black creatures. But you know what I'm getting at here. Anything they're going to target it with that would kill it is Swords to Plowshares, but it's going to kill it anyway. Who cares? So I'll just take my 2/1 flyer that looks so awesome. Look how cool this guy is. I love Mirage, dude. I really do. I'm going to give this, I'm going to give that last card a 4. I'm going to give this I hate having to do this to you, dude. I have to give this card like a 3. And that's probably still too good. Skulking Ghost isn't good anymore, but I've played this card a bunch, dude. I played a 4 of this card like a lot back in the kitchen table days. But we'll move on to Dreadworm here. This, we get a normal one, is 5 mana, 4 and a black for a 5/4 worm horror with landfall. That's a good start. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, this guy gains indestructible till end of turn. You got to figure out a way to play lands at instant speed. Can you do it in Oh, man, I forgot his name. Oh, no. How did I forget his name? He's the Jund Lands Commander guy, you know? There's a Planeswalker version of him. There's a creature version of him from something. I think he's from, like, New Capenna or something like that. But I just completely forgot that guy's name. Somebody's going to know in the comment section. And I'm sure as soon as I stop recording, I'll remember his name. But, you know, the cat. He's a cat, and he lets you play lands. He cares about that. I don't even know if this works the way I want it to. But either way... This card's not good. Like pretty much at all. 5 mana 5/4 isn't what it used to be, and in fact was not good. Spined Worm was never like a good Magic card. So I'm just gonna give this like a 3.0. Same thing I gave Skulking Ghost because I don't want it to be higher than Skulking Ghost. Move on to Fractured Loyalty. Only ever printed in Mirrodin, my friends. Look at this. Look at this belly. It's a good belly there. So a 2 mana, 1 and a red for an enchant creature. It's an aura. When an enchanted creature becomes a target of a spell or ability, that spell or ability's controller gains control of enchanted creature. Okay, so you put it on one of your opponent's guys, and then you have to gain control of it by targeting it with something else, I guess, is the idea. It even says this effect lasts indefinitely in the Oracle text. I guess the original text, too, says this effect doesn't end at end of turn. You just get their guy. And then they can steal their guy back, I guess, by targeting it with something. So that's, I don't know, it's cute. It's a cute card. Only ever printed in Mirrodin? That's interesting at the very least. It's a card that you don't see every day, which is like part of the point of the series is to like uncover commander cards that like maybe should see play. This does take some like setting up, but becomes a target of a spell or ability. That's super easy to do, dude. Just like having an artifact or something in play that can target something on their side of the table without actually killing it. It's so easy. So like all you have to do is tap the artifact, or it's like a thing that happens during your upkeep or like whatever it is. So this is actually a really neat card, and I'm always down for neat cards. I'm actually going to give this a 5 out of principle, because honestly the card is probably worse than a 5. The card's probably like a 2. You know what I mean? But it is unique. It is unheard of, I think, for the most part. So that's kind of the whole point of this series, is to find cards like this. So I have to just give it like the honorary mention, or the honorable mention, like crown the prize of the day at least, right? But let me know. I've asked the audience. This is the Ask the Audience for the day. What do you give Fractured Loyalty? I think it'll range from like 2 to 6 or whatever, you know, or even less than 2. I think some people are going to be like, this card is dog poop, man. It probably is, but at least it's different, and I like that. It's not something you see out of red every day either. But final card of the day is Rachnus Web. Good card, actually. This is 3 mana, 2 and a green for an aura that enchants a creature. The creature cannot attack or block, and its activated abilities cannot be activated. At the beginning of the end step, if enchanted creature's power is 4 or greater, destroy Rachnus Web. So another piece of green removal. That is pretty good, right? We started the day with Beast Within, 3 mana green removal. Finished the day with Rachnus Web, 3 mana green removal. This one's not as good, for the most part, as Beast Within, but you can lock down like really important small creatures. Like a lot of 1 to 3 mana creatures will be super important in Commander, right? They have like activated abilities or something like that, or they just need to be on the table for whatever reason. This can lock those down. So I don't know, it's always been a piece that you don't see every day, but it is a green piece of removal you need to be aware of, I guess. And at the very least, you can even like throw it on a huge dude, right? And even if it's going to fall off at the end step or whatever, that they still like couldn't block with their biggest guy that turn, and that's pretty cool. So be much better if it had flash, like keep a guy from attacking that turn or something. But as it is, still a solid card that I'm going to give like a 4.9 to. I don't like think that it's great, but again, if you're looking for green removal, this is one that you need to be aware exists. It's pretty good, and you don't see it every day. So good stuff, man. We did get a couple of good ones today. And again, like if nothing else, we had some stories to tell, which is the other big point of this series. I've been playing Magic for a long time, and I've got a story, around a lot of like, especially like Commander set specific cards. That's part of the fun though, is when we see Commander cards, it's like, oh, I've never seen this card in my life. It's just from a Commander product. But when we see just about anything else, the other 50% of cards or whatever, really 70 something percent, it's like, oh, I know this card. I have a whole story back in '06, So I have fun doing this, and I hope after 50 of these, you guys are still having fun too. So we're going to keep doing it. We're going to get to 100, then we're going to get to 1,000, and then we'll all be old, but it'll be fine. Will we be old when we hit 1,000? I mean, we've already hit 50. It'll only be like a year or two till we hit 1,000. It won't be that long actually. So here's to that. Toast to that, everybody. Have a good rest of your Tuesday, and I will catch you cats later. Bye.